Gelato.
Ciao, bella.
Fantastico! Mamma mia!
Oh, look at the hair flowing. Here he comes. Windmasters wins. Red Bull Genoa Abajo.
Rob! My dreams are getting more and more unrealistic.
The holiday's over, mate. Let's go.
Can you feel it? Feel it running through the walls, the ground, the narrow streets?
Oh! Did you see that back end?
Webs of ages past, of those who stood before, who've moved across these hills and gazed upon these shores. Can you feel it? Igniting your skin? Holding your breath? Rushing your blood?
Oh, that was nearly a disaster! Oh, that's ridiculous!
Can you feel it? Pulling you in?
Hello and welcome to Genoa in Italy and to the first race of the Red Bull Cerro Abajo series. The world's fastest urban racers are about to hit the tarmac again. Well, all except this one. Actually, I've stolen Windmasters away, who's going to be joining me all weekend. Win, you raced this one last year for the first time, a race outside of Latin America. You've raced the entire series. How did this one stack up?
Firstly, thanks for having me, Rob. I think this one versus the ones in South America was potentially even bigger. The atmosphere was electric the whole way down, and I think there were 40,000 people on site.
Incredible, mad scenes last year. And how does this track, these streets, stack up compared to what we're used to?
Yeah, there's a real mixture of surfaces the whole way down this track, and actually there's no dirt on the track at all like the others. And I would say it's definitely the fastest track of the year.
Well, that's right, the fastest racetrack of the year. It was Tomas Slavik, actually, that came out on top last year. I know where to find him. He loves his fish. Thought we'd bring you somewhere where you'd feel at home. You feeling relaxed this morning, Thomas, huh? In the aquarium?
Man, you should tell me next time that you're bringing me to aquarium, I would take my rod with me.
Fishing rod's allowed in here, that's for sure. We're all about bikes this weekend. You are the reigning world champion of carp fishing, right? Which is an unbelievable difference to what you do on a mountain bike. Despite winning that, I guess it's fair to say the Red Bull Cerro Abajo series didn't work out for you. It was in the bag. You just needed a top 6 finish in Mexico last year. You crashed out. What did that feel like for you?
You know, I could play it smart, go easy run down the track, 90% and maybe finish top 6. But, you know, once we're having only 3 races, you are always as good as your last race. So, you know, in Guanajuato, this place has always been kind of my nemesis, where I was having bad luck, I was crashing, and I wanted to win there. So for me, it was more important to win that race than aiming for the overall title.
It couldn't have been a different story. The first ever one of this series, you took the win. Was it important for you to stamp your authority on that one?
You know, it's a mission for everyone, you know, taking a win in Europe for the first time ever, racing on a home. So I gotta say, it's a little bit advantage. Like, you feel home, and for those guys, you can feel it on them. They don't feel that comfortable as in South America, because the racing is absolutely different. So it was a big one, an important one for me.
The start now of a new series. How important is it for you to win that overall?
The most important is to be at that particular race, to be the fastest guy on the hill, to have the fastest time in those conditions, and this is what's making me happy, and this is what's important for me. I'm a racer at heart, and I want to win races. So for me, it's still the most important to make the performance, because you're as good as your last race.
That's fair enough. Good luck,
Thanks,
mate.
man. Appreciate it.
Well, one piece of news that we can't ignore, Win, is that the three-time series champion, Juan Velez, he's never been beaten in this series since its inception, isn't starting. What do we know?
So far we know he's had an unfortunate crash in training, and it's come at a bad time for him as he just beat all the world's best there in Andorra. So we're wishing him all the best for his recovery.
We are indeed, and a couple of days ago actually we spoke to him, and here's what he had to say.
Hey, ¿cómo están todos? Hey, bueno, paso por acá para contarles qué fue lo que me pasó. Hace aproximadamente un mes tuve una caída en Andorra, donde tuve una ruptura de ligamento en mi rodilla izquierda. Nada, un poco triste por no estar allá con ustedes, por no acompañarlos en este inicio de temporada de los urbanos. Espero que nos veamos pronto para los próximos urbanos. Todo bien, los quiero mucho.
Well, you've got to feel for Juan for there. There is, though, another Colombian here who now finds himself with a very fast pair of shoes to fill.
That's one of the things that I like the most of coming here. The culture, the architecture. Is our first time visiting the museum. The paintings, the sculptures, and like all the history that you can tell has been here a lot of years. It's sick to know. I just find out Juan Fer is not coming this year. I found out yesterday. Always it's so sad to not have him here because I have been racing with him. He's a really good friend of mine. Of course, we have a lot of good racers for the win. The chances are high to win, so I'm gonna take that. Pretty good to be back, honestly. It's a new series this year. Like, I'm so happy to be here. Last year was good, third place.
2:45 Triple A, 0.13 up. Sebastian Holguín leads now with just 3 riders to go.
New team this year for me, MS Racing. So the team has been amazing. The bike, all the race structure this year is a lot way bigger than last year. So I'm so happy with that. Everything has been working good. I'm ready for the new season of the urban races and just ready to have fun. I have been working all my physical stuff, a lot of technical stuff on the bike, so it should be good. Always, yeah, the expectations are high, so new season, hopefully we can start in a good way. This is a really, really fast track. I really like that. We don't have like too much stairs, but the general track is really fun, really fast.
Oh, inside! I love it! I love it!
Inside that boardwalk there. Wow, impressive.
I have been working with the mental coach lately, like since almost a year ago. So I think that was the part that I was missing. Now I have been working on it, so I think I'm ready for the win now.
So when the riders arrive up here at the start, they'll have an amazing view of the Ligurian Sea. Not that they'll be taking it in. As we said, it is the fastest track of the year. It's also the longest, 2.2 kilometres in length. Does it feel like it's the fastest track of the year?
It sure does. Right out of the start gate, you're straight down that first straight, one corner, and then you're going full speed down between a wall, and it feels even more narrow than it looks.
And there's a new entrance right into that first straight, meaning it's going to be even faster.
Yeah, they've put a berm in, and we've got a new step down, so you're going to be going even faster this year. It's going to be flat out. Let's go. That tight corner's gone. That's going to be a lot quicker.
I mean, this straight is so much steeper and so many more stairs than I remembered it. Like, look at it. What's the feeling like of just going down here off the brakes?
Well, as soon as you come into the straight, Rob, it's about 2 metres wide, and it feels a lot more narrow because you're going probably 60 kilometres an hour down here. You're trying to def grip, stay off the brakes the whole way down. It gets pretty tight pretty quick.
Engage hyperspace. So coming down towards this first shark fin, I mean, a daunting feature. They're not easy, right?
That's definitely the most technical feature on the track, I think. And you really need to land perfectly to keep your speed for the big straight afterwards.
And in that big straight win is, I would say, the biggest gap on the track, right? You need to be going fast.
Yeah, that's the biggest jump, and it's really hard to judge because you want to land perfectly as well, and you can easily go long or short.
Yeah, we saw that last year. And then into that 180 turn at the end, there's a wooden berm there. All the riders, though, not using it, actually. Some, mainly the downhill bikes, cutting that turn and taking a bit of length off this track. Hey, Win! This doesn't look like much of a turn to me.
I tell you what, Rob, this is one of the fastest sections of track at well over 60 kilometres an hour. It's really hard to find your braking point. I think mine was that lamppost back there. This corner comes up on you real fast.
And of course, the surface is these shiny red bricks covered in algae, and it was Camilo Sanchez who got caught out by it last year. Well, it must be some feeling sending this for the first time, Win.
Hey, Rob, you don't have to stand all the way back there.
Right.
It sure is, and you come through a blind corner coming into it, and then you're suddenly in the air crossing a road, so it's quite something, I'll be honest.
So we're really getting down the track now. This corner here kind of signifying the start of the last section. It's not an easy turn though, as we saw in last year's race, right, Win?
It's definitely not easy, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can open it up wide, come on the inside, you can come through the bricks and hold it through the middle, or you can come through the bricks and run it out wide. I think from memory last year I ended up out wide, not by choice though.
And the different surfaces have got to play a part, haven't they?
Yeah, these curb edges, they're super slick, and if we get any rain, they're going to be treacherous.
Well, there might be a little bit of rain about actually, and we know that these red bricks will hold the moisture longer. It will be chaos if there's any damp here at all. Well, that's what Win thinks about this course. Let's find out from some of the racers who are actually going to tackle it.
Bueno, la pista está increíble, la verdad muy interesante. Al principio de la pista hicieron un drop nuevo.
A faster one, so it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. It's a bit higher now, a bit taller.
Son unos 4 o 6 metros más, así que está bastante bueno. Vamos a salir con mucho más velocidad.
The fastest part of the course where, yeah, you can gain a lot of time or lose a lot of time.
It's a very fast track, not really technical.
It's all about to carry speed, so you have to hit your braking marks really good.
Braking points, if you have those dialed, that's going to definitely put you up there.
From feature to feature, the connection is really important.
You have to get small on the bike.
Good aerodynamics, you know, that also plays a big role.
You really need to maintain the flow and keep the speed as high as possible.
Todo el rato full velocidad. Tiene alguna zona de pedaleo fuerte.
Muy explosivo, pedalear fuerte.
This track is really physical, so let the brakes off and just go flat out.
Key is speed.
So at the end, the speed is the key, I think.
And all those riders have just gone in an action-packed qualifying session full of incident, namely last year's winner here, Tomas Slavik, crashing out. Spectacular fashion win. What happened?
It was almost madness, that qualifying session. There was action-packed from start to finish. Thomas had a little slide, and it maybe lost his focus a little bit. And then he went into that shark fin and just slid right off, and he's lucky that he spends his winter in the gym for sure.
That's right, it is indeed, but he will start, he is a protected rider here as last year's winner, and he will be first to drop. 38 years old, 3 times a UCI World Champion. He's going to need to call on all that experience this afternoon. Unusual for him to be the first to drop.
He definitely won't be used to that, but I think he's got the wisdom of all those years racing. He knows what to do in a situation like this. It's not going to be easy, but if there's one man that can do it, it's him.
First time as well for Roger Vieira as the fastest qualifier. He was on a tear here last year before he crashed out towards the bottom. I think he was going for a podium, proving it was no fluke. Fastest qualifier, what a run from him.
Unreal run. He let the speed roll the whole way down, and he took some really creative lines that he's known for, the dodgy lines, and it really paid off. It was great to see.
But really letting that bike roll, using all the track left and right. A brilliant run then from Vieira. Can he do it again? What do you think? It's going to be different for him as well. He's never been fastest qualifier at Red Bull Cerro Abajo. Last man at the top, how does that affect your mindset?
I think it's really hard to be that last man. There's no one else left at the top. Everyone's waiting for you at the bottom, and they're waiting for you to deliver that run. So the first time is really hard, but he did show us he had the speed last year, so I think we might see it this afternoon.
OK, well, we're moments away then from going racing here. Can Roger Vieira capitalise on a brilliant qualifier and take his first Red Bull Cerro Abajo win? You'll have to stay with us to find out.
Join the world of Red Bull and make it your own. Discover your favorite live events, films, and shows. Get the newly improved Red Bull TV app for free.
4-time Rampage champion, and he's dropping in.
Controla con un frenado impresionante.
Available anywhere at any time on all your devices. Download the app now.
For the street season opener, we're in Genoa, Italy's great maritime gateway on its northwest coast. Having been inhabited since the 5th millennium BC, it's one of the oldest settlements in the world, and by the 15th century it had risen to dominate Mediterranean trade routes, making it one of Europe's richest cities. This World UNESCO site is a maze of narrow alleys that open into grand piazzas, Renaissance palaces, and is still one of Europe's largest ports. Hello everyone, welcome to Red Bull Genova Cerro Abajo. I'm Rob Warner alongside Windmasters, who somehow we managed to stop getting in the start hut today. But we're looking forward to this afternoon. An amazing qualifier, an incident-packed qualifier, huge crowds again as last year. A lot to look forward to.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for having me alongside you, Rob. It's a privilege to join you in the commentary box today, and I think we're in for a very exciting race this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And there's Tomas Slavik after a big accident in his qualifier. He's okay, the bike wasn't. He's going to be the first to drop. Lucas Borba there, the Brazilian, warming up as well at the top. A very different warm-up to some of the other races around the globe.
Definitely very different. They've only got an exercise bike up the top there.
Yeah.
And it's quite relaxed.
And there it is, the World UNESCO Heritage Site. It is Genova, and this is the top of the mountain all the way down. The longest track of the year, the fastest track of the year, and straight into a new section, right?
Yeah, straight off this new step down that leads you into these fast stairs even quicker this year. So you really fly down there, and I think I hit over 60 kilometers an hour in my training run. So
wild fast. These shark fins causing problems. That's what took Tomas Slavik out in his qualifier a little bit further down the track.
And then down into the big jump. It's the longest jump on the course. I think it was 12 or 14 meters. So,
yeah. So around 45, 50 feet there. Riders going a lot longer through this hairpin. Optional on that woodwork. Many riders will sneak around the inside and then into another high-speed straight. What's this one feel like, Win?
This one's insane. You can go as fast as you want. And I think last year Tomas Slavik said that he hit 74 kilometers an hour.
What?
Yeah.
It's insane. That's more than the national speed limit in some countries. Okay, back down they come off the Castelletto drop. And then things, if they weren't physical enough already, well, you're going to be feeling it here. It must be pain everywhere.
This is where the race really starts. I think you're really breathing along there. And then these bottom corners, this shark fin, that's the shark fin that took Tomas Slavik out this morning in qualifying. But these bottom corners are really tricky.
Lose a bit of gradient as well, so ultra important to nail those turns. And albeit well, you will cross that line. Finish area. And this is what happened in qualifying. Camilo Sanchez, a man who needs a break, actually. One of only four riders ever to win a Red Bull Cerro Abajo race, actually since it became a series. And this from Tomas Slavik. Take us through it, Win.
Bit of a drift coming in, and then he's into the shark fin, and then he slides the back end and straight into that landing. He is lucky he spends his winters in the gym. That man is strong.
He is like a cat. Not many other people would have got away with that. Hans Alber coming down.
The Italians are going to be getting behind him.
The best Italian finisher today. And these are... And Alber, yeah, he's going to be looking to put on a show then for the home crowd this afternoon. And these are your top three. It was Adrien Loron there with that 241.9. And the top three times, super tight.
A great ride by him, and looking forward to what he can do in the final.
Johannes Fischbach, actually, the man that Tomas Slavik himself said is on blistering form at the moment, showing us that with that qualifier,
if Tomas says you're going faster, then you must be. So,
And the winner of qualifying. It is a new course record, actually. It's quicker than last year's winning time, Roger Vieira. Here he is with Gonzalo.
I was quite surprised that I came into first. It felt like a really tiring run, and it felt like I left a lot speed up in the track, but I just didn't have the legs to push harder, and I was trying to do a run where I was saving a bit of energy for finals, but also pushing really hard to get a good time. So, yeah, great to be in first place, and yeah, can't wait to put a full run down for finals, and hopefully we hold the first placing.
Camilo, obviously not the start you wanted, no el comienzo que soñabas. Cuéntanos qué pasó, what happened at the top?
Bueno, la verdad, contento de estar acá. Saludos a mi gente de Latinoamérica. Una pista más rápida más que el año pasado. Acá está variando un poco el clima. Lluvia, calor. Antes de salir estaba lloviendo un poco. Bueno, tuve un resbalón, no fue nada grave. Intenté recuperar lo que más podía. Y bueno, no sé al final de qué quede la final para pasar a la final.
So he is very happy to be here. He's sending some regards to the South American crowd. It's a different track compared to the last year. Faster, quicker. Also, he was mentioning weather and how the difference is rain, sunny, rain. It's obviously making it very tricky. He slipped at the beginning. He tried to recover. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. But at the end, he's very happy again to be here in Italy.
Tomas Slavik will be the first to drop in today. We do expect him to sit in that hot seat, I think it's fair to say, for quite a while. Last year's winner, but his winning time last year was a 2:42.05. Fastest qualifying time by Vieira, that 2:41.007. They're actually looking for a new James Bond. Maybe Vieira will be it. He lives in the UK. But we thought the track might even be faster than that. We might see it in this final. That new entrance into that first straight definitely speeding things up as we look at our start list there. And you see Loron, Fischbach, Vieira, the last three to drop in.
Definitely looking forward to see them come down, and it's mad to see Tomas dropping first. He's definitely going to set the benchmark for the race today.
Yeah, that's right. He had the series really in the bag last year, needed just a 6th overall after winning the first 2 rounds in Mexico, in Guanajuato. Crashed there heavily, coming out of a container, just going too fast. Key facts then for this race: it's the fastest track of the year. I think you would agree with that win after riding it all day yesterday.
Yeah.
The surface isn't easy, right?
Yeah, it constantly changes. So you've got a whole range of different surfaces, tarmacs, rocks, and then weird curb edges, quite smooth and slippery. So you've got a whole bunch of different surfaces.
And we do see riders getting caught out by those different surfaces. And I don't think there's any getting away from it as well. It's incredibly physical. We're at sea level, of course. You know, some of the more high altitude stops might hurt as much, but there's no getting away from just how hard you've got to pedal on the lower part of this track.
I think we're about to see Tomas show us how hard you can pedal.
Yeah.
And if there's one man that can pedal hard, it's definitely Tomas Slavik.
And a stressful morning for him. Crashing, big crash, we just saw it. The bike was damaged. He was riding up and down alleys all around the finish area, looking for parts, had to get a derailleur on that bike. Actually, they hadn't fixed it when he left for the top, so it's a different afternoon for Tomas Slavik. He's a man like a lot of the top riders, used to dropping at the end of the day where the fastest riders drop. I'm not sure he'll mind opening a track, but I do feel like it's got to be, how does it affect you as a racer with?
It's quite hard when you're really not so focused on the race anymore, because he's just trying to get his bike fixed. He had a bent derailleur hanger, a broken derailleur, and they were still fixing it on the funicular on the way up to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really changes things up, but it also takes your focus off the race a bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can benefit you because you're not fully stressing about getting a result. You're more focused on that, and then you're racing. So
and, you know,
that can help.
Let's make no mistake just how big that crash was. I mean, he walked away from it. Most probably wouldn't. How does that? I mean, we spoke to him earlier. Like, you could see it affected him. 3 times a UCI World Champion, 38 years old now. He's got a lot of experience to draw from. I feel personally like if anyone can turn it around, it is Tomas.
Yeah, I think definitely Tomas is probably the man that can do it today. He's probably been in some rough positions before where he's had crashes and then had to go up and race. And you learn from that over the years, and then you become older and wiser. And like myself, I've ended up in the commentary box rather than on track. So, yeah.
Your wisest decision so far in life, I would say, Win, actually. But we haven't got through this yet, though. But so there's the big middle straight through the track. Beautiful views up here at the top. The twin city, actually, of Valparaiso, and looking unbelievably similar from the top. Here's two of your big favourites. Best overall position in the series. Second for Tomas, third for Holguín. Neither of these two have ever won. But look at the Red Bull Cerro Abajo wins. 3 for Tomas, none for Holguín. He has finished second 3 times, each time to Juan Favelas, the other Colombian. So could this be his day? Well, let's focus on this for now then. Second in last year's series, the winner of this race. A year ago, Tomas Slavik then makes his bid for glory here in Italy this afternoon.
He's off, and he's off to a good start, straight into that step down. We'll see how hard he goes in this first straight.
And here he comes then, yeah. Off the brakes, down here, the bikes, you will see them drift left and right. A new bike for Tomas, 180 mil travel front and back set. It's helping him a lot.
I'd say he's going about 65 kilometers an hour there. And then coming into the Sharkman, this is the tricky part. Perfect.
Yeah, and here he comes hard on these pedals, putting out around 1,900, 2,000 watts of power. He said, look at him exploding onto this straight.
One of the most powerful riders there is in the sport, and if you're anyone from cycling, you understand over 2,000 watts is insane.
It's insane, more like an Olympic track cyclist. Oh, gets a bit of a swerve on there, squashes that perfectly again.
Looked like he went a little bit wide on the chicane.
Did maybe. So, using the berm or cutting inside this year for Tomas Slavik then. Last year he ran that berm.
He took that inside quite safely though, so not sure if he got the total exit speed, but now it's where he'll unleash his power.
And there's pedalling again, most will be tucking there. Slavik hard on those pedals. Is this straight as fast as the top one?
This one's the fastest, so he hit 74 kilometers an hour here last year. And it's really hard to judge your braking point for this corner. As you can see, he's trying to slow up.
Look at the bike dancing.
He's on the edge.
Yeah, that looked good to me. Using all the track there onto the red carpet. Not much time to enjoy it. Road gap, no problem for Slavik. Whoa, look how fast he's going down here. And pedaling again when this is talent. Every time he turns the pedals, you might not be wrong in thinking he's taking time out of every other rider.
It'll be interesting what line he does here. Apparently there's a new line. We might see it later in the commentary box through that section. He took the main line, which is the traditional line.
And look at the crowds here in Girona. Masses have come again to see this race. And Slavik now, this left-hander tricky, right?
Very tricky corner, and you can run it quite wide and not have to brake as much. He did it pretty solid though.
Oh, getting on those brakes down there.
This is where he had trouble in his qualifying, and it looks like he is taking it pretty safe.
And no problems this time for Slavik, yep. Perhaps a little more cautious than some other riders, but how could it not be after what happened to him just an hour ago? Runs wide up against the wall, another difficult long left-hander into this wall ride.
You can see him riding a little bit safer than he was probably in that qualifier, but after a crash like that, you can't blame him.
And Roger Vieira, remember that 2:41.007 was the fastest qualifier. That's our benchmark. Here comes Tomas Slavik, then he's outside it. Goes fastest with a 2:42 to set the benchmark, of course. But interestingly, not as fast as Roger Vieira's qualifier. What does that say to you?
It means that potentially it's going to be quite hard for him to win with that time, I think.
I agree as well, because most riders on a track this physical are going to save something. You know, they're not going to sprint as hard as they can before a finals run, right?
But potentially also that crash that Tomas had in his qualifying run could have cost him, and he could have lost a bit of energy due to that. There was 3 riders on a 2:41 in the qualifying, so there's 3 riders faster today.
That's right, yes, look at that. So, interesting then for Tomas Slavik. How long will he sit there? Gonzalo Gajdosech next.
You can see the weight on his bike. A lot of the riders have got weight taped to their bike, and they try to do that to help the stability. Jackson Goldstone actually does that in the World Cup, and that's getting quite popular here in the urban racing. We're hearing some riders have got a lot of weight taped to their bike.
Yeah, Adrien Loron apparently running 3 kilograms of lead under his bottom bracket. Gajdosech, though, an aggressive start for the Argentinian.
Oh, into the shark fin, and it's perfect.
Yeah. So making light work of that. Incredibly difficult, those shark fins. Of course, the bike goes from his back, 0.4 back. The bike goes from vertical to horizontal. The suspension gets compressed, and then you need to be vertical again, of course, as you land.
And I think Gajdosech had a mistake in his qualifying run, so it'll be interesting how close he can go to Tomas's time now. He's pushing hard, but you can clearly see that Tomas was the powerhouse on the pedals.
Tomas is almost a different level to anyone on the pedal sections. So, on this straight again now, half a second back.
He's hopping all those stairs to try not to lose speed with each stair. And the smoother you can get through all those stairs, the more speed you can gain down the straight.
Yeah.
You'll see all the riders trying to be light over those stairs. And they're quite spaced apart, so they actually, your bike starts floating when you're in these braking zones.
So difficult. And finding himself a long way back now, over 2.5 seconds. Coming in off amazing, his best ever Red Bull Cerro Abajo Series finish of 5th place, actually, in Chile in Valparaiso.
Yeah, he was on fire in Valparaiso.
Looking like he was looking for some gears there.
Oh, he's adjusting his gears. He must have a bit of a mechanical here.
Yeah, I think so as well, yeah. And is he going to take this new inside line on the dirt? Yeah, he does.
Wow.
This was the only track in the series with no dirt on it until then.
Yeah, there was no dirt at all on track. These guys still managed to find some. And literally just in the last practice runs this morning, they found that line.
And when you talk about practice at these street races, it's not days, it's moments. Oh, quick down there. What do they have? 4 practice runs here to get up to speed?
Yeah, maybe this morning they might have done 2 or 3.
And they did 2, 1.5 last night, so 4, 5 runs, maximum of practice.
He was wheel spinning there.
Quick. No way.
Yeah, wheel spinning out of the corner because he's leaning forward, pedaling so hard. That's another thing with Tomas. You can notice that he's probably one of the most efficient pedalers there are. He doesn't move side to side at all.
No, that's right. He's like a bullet, his shoulders, yep. Okay, Gajdosech then.
It's going to go close.
It's going to be decent for him. Across the line he goes. In a second, 1.8 into the red then. A great run from Gonzalo Gajdosech.
That's a really good ride for him, and he's delivered a great run there. He was hard on the braking zone here into the shark fin. This is probably one of the hardest braking zones because you've got to slow down for that shark fin enough to not go long on it, but you still have to get the perfect downside to keep your speed. And then that big double over the truck also is a pretty tricky one to get the downside or not case, because you're trying to squash it and you're also coming in quite fast. The fans are happy with that.
They're happy enough, and so this is Gonzalo. Well, back to the top for one of 3 riders here today that has won a round of this series. Lucas Borba taking the win, a historic win in Valparaiso in 2024, the first Brazilian rider to do it.
And Borba, a super fit rider as well. The Brazilian guys have been telling me that he takes some comms on the local road climbs.
Right. There he is, 4 podiums at Red Bull Cerro Abajo, a former national champion of Brazil. Let's see what he can do today then. A 2:45 in qualifying, 14th for him. I'm surprised he's not a little further up the order.
Yeah, he could have been saving some energy for this final though, so we'll see now.
4th overall in the series.
Pushing hard onto that step down.
23 and 24, so Borba, an aggressive start as well. Whistling down this staircase. Whoa!
He's looking fast, like he's attacking it straight out of the start. It's good to see.
And looking like he's on a full-blown downhill bike, of course. People running enduro bikes, downhill bikes, anything goes at these street races.
I think he's running what you call the hybrid, which would be like he runs a downhill fork and he's got a shorter travel trail bike.
Less than half a second off at split number 1, and that seems to be the way it's going, right, Win?
Yeah, a lot of
riders even adapting suspension to run a shorter triple clap, right?
Yeah, they adapt the front fork, make it a bit shorter, and then they can run an enduro bike frame and a downhill fork.
And it was in qualifying, 1st and 2nd though, both on enduro bikes here today. Runs that berm. That might give him more speed into this straight.
Yeah, actually, Roger mentioned to me earlier that he tested that with his brother, and he thinks that doing the berm could give you more speed, and that speed leads you a bit longer than cutting the corner.
Well, that's right, because it's a long, long straight after it. It's a long way around to that berm, as you'll see. But Borba, 118 for Slavik, the next split. And the bottom half of this course, I personally would say, does suit an enduro bike more. Borba on the downhill bike, of course, or the downhill fork bike. And do they pedal a lot worse? Is there much difference, you know, to pedal a bike with a downhill fork over an enduro fork?
I think with the downhill fork's not too bad, as long as you have the shorter travel bike. So on a full-blown downhill bike, you have to be really strong to be able to compete on this track before the pedaling.
Yeah, well, Slavik's still the fastest through our key section, a race within a race. We'll keep an eye on that all afternoon as well. But Borba looking like he's unable to threaten that time of Tomas Slavik.
You can see that he's definitely a fit rider, but he doesn't have that all-out power, that 2,000 watts that Tomas Slavik does, and neither do many people in the world of cycling.
No, absolutely right indeed, that's true. Calmly off that sharp fin, runs it right up against the wall there. You'll see riders even getting higher than that to give himself some more space.
I think this bottom section is really where you can win or lose quite a lot of time because you're really on the limit physically, and then you're trying to get through these awkward corners the whole way through to the finish.
The gradient goes a little bit, as you can see by the way that Borba is on those pedals there. Last turn then for Borba, what's it going to be? Slavik's 2:42 goes by. The Brazilian crosses the line into third place, 2.9 into the red.
I'd imagine Borba would have been looking for a bit more than that, but I think this track probably doesn't play to his strengths. He's only a little guy, so he would suit the more technical ones like Guanajuato and
steep tracks, yeah, agreed.
And more technical stair sections. This is more wide open, and maybe a heavier rider or more weights added to your bike can actually be an advantage on this course.
Yeah, it's interesting the weight thing. Most riders have got a kilo strapped under there.
Yeah.
But excessive, well, Loron with 3 kilos, that's a lot. That's crazy. That seems mad to me.
Yeah, that's making his bike over 20 kilos.
But he's a light rider himself and saying, you know, he needs that extra weight to get him down, as you say, as well. Well, the Italian fans are getting ready down here because it's an Italian drop in next. Johannes Alber will be the next at the top. And here he is then. With qualifying 13th for this man. On the single crown fork, the shorter travel bike. If you can hang on at the top, it's going to probably pay dividends down the bottom.
He's actually riding the same bike as Tomas Slavik.
There you go.
That's a new bike that's just been released, and I think it would be probably one of the almost the perfect setup for this urban racing.
Well, 180mm front and back, not a full 29 bike. Slavik now running it with that smaller rear wheel, and Slavik saying just unbelievable how he can now turn on the stairs, and that was so fast through there, he nearly landed at the bottom of the ramp.
He did land near the bottom of the ramp, and then he drifted after the landing, which would have killed his exit speed a little bit, but he's going to have to pedal hard to keep that going, and he looks pretty strong here.
He does, tuck in now, getting on the middle of those bars, trying to make himself as small as he can. Oh, goes big over there as well.
He actually nosed that in quite nicely, and it worked out really well.
0.4 off at split number 1 there, not far.
He could be in touch here.
He could, he's giving it plenty of good pedals down there as well to get that bike back up to speed and working these stairs.
Yeah, that's key to work those stairs through there, to keep your speed high and just unweight over so you don't take all the impacts.
Whoa.
Interested what this next split's going to tell us.
We are indeed, yep. Fast left-hander there. We saw Camilo Sanchez crash out last year.
1.7, then still in touch. He pulled up off the road gap.
He really pulled up off that road gap and lands against straight on the pedals again then. Into the key section now.
And he's taken the wider line, not gone for that short line through the dirt. But he's pushing, it's great, the crowd will be going wild. It's amazing to see an Italian rider make the final here in Genova.
It really is, yeah, absolutely. And these huge fan, 40,000 people here last year, looks even more this year, 2.4 into the red now though. And you can see how it is to stop down there. Multiple surfaces, there's flint, there's red bricks, you name it, there's even some dirt.
And he was using everything. He was sliding through there like he was a MotoGP rider. It was Marc Marquez style into that corner.
He would have had to have the knee out if it had gone much further.
He's pushing, and it's great to see. He's on a good run here. Hannes.
Listen to the roar then from the finish area as Johannes Alber comes into shot now then. Oh, Well, it's like he's won it with the way the crowd are going off. He goes third, 1.9 into the red. He can be pleased with that.
The Italian crowd's going to love seeing an Italian on the hot seat.
That's great run for the Italian then.
That was awesome riding. Can't wait to see the replay here. You can see that he used all the track everywhere. He's riding up against the walls and just really on the limit. And into the jump, he nosedived, but actually perfectly into that landing. That's really hard to do with the speed you're coming in. In here, this was what I love to see, the slide all the way through the corner, and he just kept it going. You've got to get off the brakes to get the grip back, which is really hard to do when you're sliding like that.
And need to scrub off some speed.
Yeah.
It's not easy to let go of the brakes.
He's happy with that.
Yeah, great to see. An Italian then in third place. 12 riders left to drop. Red Bull Genova Cerro Abajo, who've just joined us over on board alongside Windmasters. And it's Tomas Slavik coming down early after a crash in his qualifier, the first to drop in this final. And he leads at the moment with a 2:42.001. Up to the top then, the man from Barcelona, Alex Marin now.
Alex has done a few of these urban races, so he's just starting to get a good feel for it, and I think he could do something here as he's slowly learning how to race this. It's quite a different style compared to a traditional downhill race.
And that's where he comes from, actually having a 4th place at the World Championships as a junior, so good in the dirt. We're going to find out what he can do on the tarmac right now.
I like how he's unweighting and pushing down and pumping all those little sections.
Did you see how far he had his weight back coming into that shark fin then, so he could try and stop that rear wheel, locking up, make it grip, and he's in touch, definitely, less than 2/10 off then.
He was pretty much sitting on the back wheel, and then he wheelied out of that corner. You can see he's really throwing down the power.
Yeah, dynamic riding then from Marin so far.
You could see that he did not want to hit that full speed.
No, that's right. It's a big gap, that one. Don't want to over-jump it, though, which is pretty easily to do. You're saying when it's very hard to judge the speed for it, right? Because the track's so wide.
Yeah, the track's so wide there. You're coming in really fast, and you can't really get a feel for how fast you are going. So it's hard to judge if you're going too fast or not.
Tuck it down here, then. Alex Marin very much in touch at split number 1. Oh, finding some power to pedal again. Oh, doubling down these stairs. He's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, I love to see getting light over all those stairs.
But Slavik's time's gone by, and he finds himself 1.8 into the red now. Wow.
It was a great start, but that one section, Tomas is really strong, and I think it was his power pedals out of that wooden berm all the way, and it gives him speed all the way down here.
Yeah, when the straights are that long, the quicker you get up to speed, it all counts. Into the key section then, Slavik with that 23.2 leading.
The other thing here is, like, I think riders need to get really low and try and be as aerodynamic as possible. So you want to see it tuck through that section.
Well, that inside line being used again. We're not sure if it's faster or not, are we really? I mean, it's definitely, it looks more direct, but you do not come onto that runway quite as fast, that ramp as fast. And of course, that will affect the time and speed all the way down that next straight.
Yeah, you really need to be in the right gear coming onto the ramp as well. He used all the track there, and it's really nice to see him out wide, not slowing up as much. He looks quite clean here. This is a nice run from Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting the power down where he needs to as well.
And he's actually riding a full downhill bike as well. Oh, right up against the wall there. He touched the wall.
Using it as a berm. So it's been a strong run from Alex Marin then. Slavik still leading with that 2:42. But Marin's going to come close. Here he comes. He goes across the line. Second, less than a second off. Oh, good run from Alex Marin there.
Amazing riding from Alex, and he really pushed it through the bottom section. I think he actually pulled back some time in that bottom section.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he's pulled back 1.6 in the bottom sector.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Mad. Yeah. So time on this track then?
There is definitely time to be made, and I think that bottom sector is where it can be won or lost. It's easy to slide out there, but it's also, you need to really push the limit, but it's so hard to find the limit on those stones.
And you've got to be absolutely...
That was the limit. His pedal hit that wall, I think.
Wow. Good run, Alex Marin.
Love to see it, Alex.
Well, Thomas predicted he might be in the hot seat quite a long time this afternoon. Said it was the worst experience of his life in Valparaiso, waiting to get his time beaten. Jeronimo Paez next. The Argentinian actually lives just over the border from Chile.
Yeah, great guy, Geronimo, and he does some of the best practice runs with his GoPro on. He does some of the best course previews where he talks you through the track the whole way down. They go really viral on Instagram, so check them out if you haven't. If you speak Spanish, he's really good for a course preview. He's seen that.
Gets a bounce on there as well. 6th here last year for Paez. Big off there as well. They're sending him further and further off that shark fin.
Yeah, the aggression in the top section.
And he knows how important it is to peddler, and he's green by 0.432. Oh, amazing. Look at this.
This guy is super strong. He said he's never done BMX or had any background. It's only downhill, but he is clearly one of the most powerful riders, and he must be up there with Thomas's 2,000 watts.
Wow, that's a big call. He's proving it on the clock at the moment. Perhaps that bike working a little bit better on that top staircase.
Well, actually, I had a bounce on his bike the other day, Rob, and it's nearly rock hard. It hardly moves. You can't even get the suspension to go up or down. He just wants to take as much speed as he can.
Is that how it is, really? And it's working for him. And Slavik also, a rider that we know runs a very, very stiff setup for street racing. Harder tyres, much more pressure in the tyres and everything. Smooth on the brakes into this long left-hander, but he's lost time now here. Look at that win.
Yeah, lost a second through that sector, which shows how strong Thomas is in that sector. And he just powered into that straight, which then gave him the exit speed the whole way down.
Paez back again, pedalling hard here. So not giving up at all.
You can see his power. You can see the difference in the power of each rider. And will he do the inside? He's setting up for it.
He's lost another half second in the key section nearly.
It's a tricky inside, that one, to line it up, then hop over that wall and to go onto the dirt.
Is it worth the setup time is the question.
If you can take the exit speed, I think it could be.
Yeah, okay. Oh, he was quick through there. That was hanging on around that left.
Yeah, if you run that corner wide, you don't need to brake as much, and that's what Geronimo was doing there.
He was absolutely identical to Slavik in Sector 3, just losing 1/1000th of a second. Mad.
Perfect on the shark fin too.
Okay, through the tunnel he comes, gets a good few pedal hard strokes in there. He was in the right gear too.
And onto the wall ride.
To the top of that.
Nice and clean, yeah. He's opening the corners up nice. He's going to go close here.
And he's absolutely burying himself on these pedals then. So, here he comes. The man from Argentina. It's been a good run. 240, 241. He crosses the line second. Nearly a second into the red. 0.71 only. Oh, a good run for Jeronimo Paez, but not quite good enough.
So Thomas has definitely set that benchmark time. And just here you see they're hitting this double at about 65 kilometers an hour, and I think you almost can triple to that third downside. I would love to see someone do that later on, but I'm not sure if it'll be possible. But I was trying to do that in the training runs.
Just so everyone knows, Wynn was on track all day yesterday. There was quite a lot of concern whether we'd see him in the commentary box today, but he made it.
I was lucky enough to get 2 practice runs in, like most of the riders. And
Yeah.
This is a very enjoyable track to ride, and seeing someone like Geronimo ride it like this is just unreal.
Yeah.
Also, that finish section, if you can cut it straight to the line, it's a lot quicker, and you can save maybe 0.3 of a second.
There you go. Okay, well, 10 to go. Tomas Slavik leads from Jeronimo Paez, the man we just saw. Alex Marin in third, Gajdosech fourth, and Johannes Alber, top Italian there in fifth at the moment. But it's top 10 time here if you just joined us at Red Bull Genoa and Slavic. I'm Rob Warner alongside Win Masters, who I nearly called Elliot Jackson then. And we got there are your top 6 at the moment. 3 seconds over them at the moment as well. Those times are only going to get tighter.
I think Elliot's winning, but lucky I've been called up to be the replacement.
Yeah.
It's probably safer for me here in the commentary box than out on course.
I hope so, but there's still 10 riders to go with. It's only going to build.
We'll see how wild you get, Rob.
I don't think it takes much on these street races. The action usually is pretty loose. So these are your top 3.
Alex Marin, and he's nicely over that jump. Just a nice, clean run from Alex. Super close to Thomas's time, actually. and he made some good time in the bottom sector. You can see him really pumping through the stairs and missing all the impacts there.
Yeah, and each tiny impact, of course, does take some pace out of you.
Yeah, especially at like over 60 kilometers an hour.
That's right, it doesn't take much. The wind resistance is right up there as well. Paez second at the moment. Brilliant ride for the Argentinian.
Yeah, really good run from him, and that stiff bike setup paying dividends for him.
Yeah. But crashing in qualifying, last year's winner, the first to drop, and he did make it count after a massive crash in that qualifier. Here's Tomas. Okay, let's go down to Gonza.
I think something very similar happened to me in Valparaiso this year, and it's always hard to make a damage control in the final when your qualifying run doesn't go by the plan, you know. I felt really good in qualifying. I was pinning it. I was actually on the last split. I was in the lead by 1 second, but then I slipped in a shark fin, and then, you know, your self-confidence goes always a little bit down, you know, so you start to overthink things. You start to chill out on the track because you don't want to crash because you already crashed in quali. So I did kind of like a safe run. We'll see. I don't think it's going to work out, but that's better than crashing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now you have the hot seat. You mentioned that maybe it's not going to be enough, but are you optimistic?
Yeah, I'm still here. You never know. You never say never until it's over. So I'm going to be sitting here cheering for the guys and see what it brings.
Thank you so much, Tomas. Good luck in the race. And hopefully, hey, you know, you go back to back.
Yeah, nervous times for Tomas. Sat in that hot seat watching everyone come down to try and beat his time. There's 10 riders left now at the top, and there they are. Vieira will be the last to drop. Fischbach, another danger man, as is Adrien Loron. Pedro Ferreira, the two-time winner of Red Bull Valparaiso Cerro Abajo. Not far away now. Good to see him back on form.
Yeah, great to see him back focused on the racing rather than the content creation.
But from Chile, it's Alberto Nicolás. A 2:44 in qualifying for him.
Yeah, this man actually hails from the south of Chile. He lives in Coyhaique, a place where I spent 3 months trail building in 2010.
No way.
And it's quite a tiny little town. There's not any stairs around to practice like this, but he is good at street racing.
He certainly is, yep. Showing us right now just how good he is as well. A former national downhill champion of that country as well. Beautifully, the way he arced off there.
Yeah, and you could see him drop his heels down to try and get the braking into the shark fin.
And just 0.3 off that! Oh my goodness! Dude, that's how close they are to the edge of the traction there. The back end coming round on that. You just wouldn't believe it, would you, that they're pushing that hard?
It's very rare to see the back let go like that, especially on a tarmac street.
Did you hear it?
Yeah. And I think Alberto's actually running a very light tyre setup on the rear, so it will roll faster, but it could lose grip like that, and it's a harder compound as well.
Which, yeah, will be more speed, but it is less grip. Interesting to hear the riders, you know, playing with tyre choice now as the series evolves. Some riders are actually using slick rear tyres, I think you said.
Yeah, some of them were trying out a semi-slick rear, which we haven't seen too much because you still do need the braking points in like sections like this where Alberto's is now.
Over 2 back now then for Nicolás, so losing a lot of time really in that second sector.
Just showing how powerful Tomas is through that sector. That's Tomas's sector where he's taken the time out of everyone.
When you watch Tomas Slavik pedal, you can actually see. You can see how hard he's going, how fast he's going.
Great to see Alberto getting really low there, and he's going for the inside line. He's hopped on. If he's in the right gear, he could take. He was maybe in a slightly too hard of a gear there to take the advantage.
You can see that, you know, as they come onto that boardwalk, that's where they start accelerating. Whereas if you come around that turn, you're up to speed a little bit more by there. You should be going quicker, faster off the end of it, and you might carry more speed down that straight. 2.4 back now.
Oh, drifting it in.
One thing I would say, Win, is we haven't really seen that line bring people's times down yet.
No, not yet. Oh. But maybe later on we will.
Yeah, that's right. As the real magicians give it their touch. Oh. Burying himself now. Everything could be hurting. The arms, the legs, the lungs, up on the wall there. What do you think of that? Look at the line he took out.
That was very creative. He went way high on the wall, and then he didn't have to go as wide on the corner. So he actually cut some track there by doing that. He did more track on the wall, but then cut the track down.
If he carried any more speed out of it then. So here comes Alberto Nicolás, and he goes 6.2 into the red.
A good run for the man that's a bike mechanic and bike guide when he's not racing urban downhill. Here he is off the shark fin. Perfect off there. He was in touch in this top section. It was great to see. And then he was powering through there. This is the drift.
Oh, that's insane!
He almost caught that wheel on the fence.
I can't believe that.
Shows how much these guys ride the limit to get a result here in Genova.
To have that feel like that, you know, to be right on the limit like that.
I'll be honest, I don't think he planned to drift that corner, but that's what happens when you push the limit.
That is right. Incredible stuff then. Well, the brother of the fastest qualifier now, Douglas Vieira in the start hut. 9 to go. And he actually finished off last year's series brilliantly with 2 top 10 finishes for him.
And Douglas just got crowned the Brazilian downhill champion, so he's got that sleeve on.
He's going to be confident then.
He's on a bit more of a free ride setup. He's hopping all the curbs there. It's going to give him a bit more speed. Sends it right
out. He almost gets over that bump in the road.
That was the triple that I was just talking about earlier.
Wow.
Oh, and style off the shark fin.
What's the clock telling us then? It looked like he left nothing on the track. And he's up by 0.09 then. Amazing. What a top section from Douglas Vieira.
Great to see him getting low as well and being aero as possible.
The Brazilian moved by the family actually to the UK in 2014 to give him and his brother a better opportunity of racing the bikes, and it's certainly paying off.
It's great to see both the brothers in this final and in the top 10 too.
Gets wide there, cuts that rather awkward, I would say, wooden berm a little bit further out, and back on the pedals he goes.
That's the key section. The power in the pedals there gives you speed for this whole section, and this is where Tomas made a difference.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and you also have to stay aero to keep your speed up.
Every time you stand up to pedal, you do open yourself up. You lose the aerodynamic advantage, of course, at these sorts of speeds. Slavik, that 118, it's gone by. Oh, but he has pulled back a 10th. So interesting to see that. Excuse me, loses a second, I should say.
Yeah, lost a second, but he's still in touch with Tomas's time there. And we'll see if he does this inside at the end here. He's gone for the tuck on the forks. That's the classic, to get as low as possible.
Get yourself as aero as you can. A second then to find for Douglas Vieira.
Oh, he's entered wider. He probably kept more speed there, Rob.
I agree. It was smoother than anyone else we've seen, I think.
He opened it up a bit more on the dirt and then dropped onto the ramp cleaner.
Well, look at this then. Well, that's the best I would think we've seen that done. So let's see how it works on the clock, that line. And he goes great! Oh, my goodness! 1.4 faster in that sector. And a lot of that has got to be that inside line.
That line has paid off, and he's let the speed run around that corner there too, Rob. Here we go, into the bottom section. This is where it counts.
Up against the wall there as well, then. What's he got left in the tank for these last few turns? What a run from Douglas Vieira. What a sector from Douglas Vieira. Up against the wall again.
Saw the pedal hit the wall as well.
Well, on the absolute edge here. Eking every bit of power out of his body then. Douglas Vieira, 0.3 it was to play with. Here he comes. He goes across the line. And we're waiting for that time to come up. He goes fastest, yes! 240.8. 1.2 seconds into the green. What a run from Douglas Vieira. Arguably the bad brother is still to come.
Arguably the better, but we'll see if he can beat him. Actually, Douglas has just set the fastest time of the day. He went for the triple there. He pulled up, did the triple in that top section. That was amazing. First rider that's made it all the way across. I think Tomas was close, and Douglas actually pulled up there. Perfect over the big double. And then he's stayed low everywhere else that he can. He ran really wide there and had to hop out of there. He made the most of all the track there.
Wow. What a run that was. A 240.8, the fastest time of the weekend. Wow. Finals are hotting up here. If you just joined us, this is Red Bull Genova Cerro Abajo, the first round of a new series of our urban downhill series, and that man, the Brazilian residing in the UK, has just taken the lead with a sensational run. And Pedro Burns is next. What do you feel when you race urban? I don't know, you tell me when you're the urban racer.
It's a mix of pure adrenaline, Pedro said, so I think he's about to go to the pure adrenaline right now as he goes out of the start and down that first step down.
And had a big crash off that bottom shark fin in practice yesterday. Pedro Burns.
This is where the pure adrenaline kicks in, Rob, when you go 60 kilometres an hour down these stairs.
Just death gripping down there. Most riders not even covering those brake levers.
And then this is where Douglas tripled right out. Wow, I think Pedro was pretty close as well.
Yeah, he was.
And
locking sliding at this turn. So on the single crown fort for Pedro Burns, he does switch between the downhill bike and the enduro bike a little bit of these events, and he's definitely in touch there at 48 thousandths off.
He's gone for a full enduro bike, and he's actually running enduro tyres front and rear. So he's gone for the fastest rolling combination possible, but it might be a bit less grip. He's gone long on the jump.
He did go long on there. Yep, looked like he caught the end of it though. Well, aggressive stuff then from Pedro Burns. And he goes fastest, 56.2 kilometres an hour through the speed trap.
That would have been the faster tyre combination making the difference through there.
No way.
He's got front and rear fast tyres, which other guys are just going on the rear.
Right on.
Cool to see him in the mix. He's not been at this level recently in these Cerro Abajo races, so it's great to see him back.
Agreed, that's true enough, yep. See him at the Medellin and the Valparaiso as well. He's up by 0.6 now. Where's he finding this time? Incredible run then from Pedro Burns here. Are you surprised at this, Elliot? Win, excuse me.
Definitely not. I think that's where the tyres will be an advantage. It'll be interesting if he can hold that advantage, because Douglas was really strong through this line here, through the dirt, where Pedro's about to go into. As Pedro goes for the inside.
And he takes that inside as well. And made it, I would say, made it work too.
Yeah. He went quite wide so he could open it up, and kind of similar to Douglas.
He's lost a bit of time in that key section then, so it's going to be close, I think, to the next split. Whoa, didn't use all the road there. And now he finds himself 0.2 back then, so still in touch, quick down there, look at it drifting. Well, we win.
That was a Scandinavian flick, they call that in rally driving, don't they?
Yeah.
Sliding it in reverse.
One way then, the other, yep. Oh. Burns, yeah. Thomas said he thinks Pedro Burns is better on the enduro bike. He's definitely showing us that today. Didn't use all the track there as well. Not up against that wall like so many other riders, but in the right gear there.
Yeah, gear choice is really key on this track.
So, here we go then. Douglas Vieira leads. What's it going to be? He goes second, 0.34 off. Only. Oh, super close, but not enough for Pedro Burns.
For a minute there, he thought that he'd got the lead. It was very close.
It was super close.
Oh, he had a few drifts in this run. He was really hard in the braking zones, and you could see how hard he was pushing. And you've got to really push the limit, but also not over it, which is really hard to do.
Yeah, and it's a much finer margin between grip and not having grip.
You can see how good he was in that middle sector against Douglas.
Which is where he was the fastest on the speed trap, losing a little bit of time down the bottom, but yep, the Chile flag's out. You can be proud of that one, the man from Santiago. 7 riders left to drop here. Just 7 riders left to
drop. 2 more Chileans.
Plenty of South Americans in there, don't you worry. And it is Pedro Ferreira from Quilpué, just outside actually. The twin C of this one. Valparaiso in Chile is a 2-time winner of Red Bull Valparaiso as well. And great to see him put a good qualifier like this together.
You can see he wants that one. He was really pedaling hard into that step down. And he's got some weights attached to his down tube. He wants that stability that should give the bike. We'll see how he goes in the braking zone here.
Let's have a look then, yeah.
Clean.
Ferreira, one of the absolute gods of street racing. Vieira's 30.6 coming up in this first split. Then what's it going to be for Pedro? He goes faster by 0.22. Oh, so on the money today.
Great to see Pedro back in form like this. He must have done some training, because I've not seen him pedaling like this for a while.
Well, it's true enough. Yep, the man who I would say probably prefers more gravity-fed tracks. 56.1 through that speed trap.
and also the man with probably the biggest following in urban downhill. He has over 1 million followers on Instagram.
That's right. Absolutely. So on that wall ride, fired down there as hard as he could. Got to time up these stairs.
It didn't look like he pedaled it as much as some of the other guys into that straight, so we'll see if he loses any time in this sector.
Vieira, 1:19 at this second split. What's it going to be then? For Ferreira, and he's up by half a second now, finding another quarter of a second in that second sector. This is outrageous from the Chilean veteran, I would say now. Incredible to see this.
He's definitely a veteran of urban downhill, and he was getting low through that section, so it actually proves that sometimes tucking down low can be faster than pedaling.
Absolutely, yeah, look at that. You said that as well, Win. A full-time street racer, this man. Loses nearly a second in that key section, though. That's got to be reflected on the big clock, surely.
Looked like he was in slightly too hard of a gear out of that dirt line there.
And now looks like he's hurting now, fiddling with the helmet, maybe getting uncomfortable. Up against the wall there.
Wow.
There was no more space for Ferreira, and he has lost time.
But that
2 seconds in sector 3.
That was how to ride the corner, right up against the wall.
Yeah, he used every millimetre of the track there.
That is one of the keys to doing well in these urban races. You really have to use every millimetre of the track.
Oh, he looks tired now.
Maybe he hasn't done as much training in this winter as I thought. But he's pushing into there, using all the track once again.
Whoa, absolutely hurting, reluctantly on the pedals again. Ferreira, this is hurting him. But what a superb top section it was for him. He put it all out there. It's been a brilliant run for Pedro Ferreira. He goes 6, losing some serious time in the bottom. The physicality of this track, we spoke about it. And you can't gauge your effort on these things, can you? 2, that hurt.
You can see how tired he was. This top section was unreal. He was nice and low. He was using that aerodynamic position everywhere and pushing hard into that jump. He almost went long, got it perfect. And just through here, I think he was slightly too hard of a gear and maybe a little bit tired. So he paid the price, and then his helmet was a bit loose there. He was adjusting it during the run. You don't want to... Wow, he hit the wall with the pedal. You don't want to have anything like that up interrupting your run. It can you can lose a bit of focus.
Wow. That one hurt. But good to see him absolutely back on the pace on the bits of the track we know he should be. The steep bits, the fast bits.
He definitely gave it everything.
The risky bits.
Yeah, he knows how to risk it in an urban downhill race run.
So top 3 at the moment. Vieira, Burns, and Slavik as we go to the top for Felipe Agurto. And here he is.
Bueno, mi estrategia para esta carrera es ir a tope, es una carrera muy rápida. Me preocupé mucho de setear muy bien mi bicicleta, preocuparse muy bien del aire y que el clima también nos acompañe, porque sí vamos a ver qué tan blando o duro va a estar el neumático.
So Felipe Agurto, 4th here last year, 4th in last year's Red Bull Cerro Abajo series. And a man who actually had an insane last split on this track a year ago. So if he's in touch, let's see if he can do it again at that last split. Oh, it is getting wild up top, the speed of these riders. Oh my goodness me, look at it.
And just trying to hop through those stairs as well. And then, he's doubled out to that lane post.
Oh, so setting up, using every bit of the track, even on the fast parts. Went deep off there and straight on the pedals. Split time's gonna tell us more. Oh, and he's back just by 0.16, so he's in touch. Agurto very much in touch, especially if we think about how quick he can be at the bottom.
He's on a full downhill bike, but I think he has a lockout as well, so that should help. And in that bottom section, it's really going to play to his favour.
Nice! Scrubs in over there. He's feeling comfortable on that big double.
Very hard to do that, to scrub that jump. It's so blind, and then to scrub off the lip like that, it's really hard. He's really pushing here.
Turns sharp there, and again sprints as hard as he can, gets that bike back up to speed, finds a few more pedals.
And he was actually 10th at hardline, so I think he might have even got some confidence from that, doing such big features at hardline.
That's right, incredible ride for him there, that's it. After a Red Bull hardline, I think any feature on any track is probably going to be okay.
Yeah, it definitely helps build the confidence, I think. And here he is into the braking zone. pushing nice and clean through there.
He was fast through there, 1.5 further now, into the red though. For Agurto. He's entering the key section now.
He's going to have to go really hard in this bottom section to try and pull some time back.
Sprinting again there, getting a few more pedals in.
Also adjusting his helmet. Some of these stairs, they're really jarring, so your helmet can move a little bit, and it's annoying if it's juts down. He goes for the inside line.
And it was a super quick key section for him, just losing 0.2 in there to the man leading at the moment then. So on the pace through that key section.
You can tell he's giving it everything there. He's trying to suck some air and take some big deep breaths for this bottom section.
Vieira's time goes by though. 2 seconds now in the arrears for Agurto, but this is where he really came alive a year ago.
It looked like he was a little bit clean through that corner, and he cased off the shark fin there.
Yeah, big case off there, but he didn't do too much damage on the clock. Oh, you see the head going, he's pedaling so hard here.
Pedaling hard, but also really feeling it physically. This is like the physical limit.
Yeah, it is. A feeling I don't miss, actually. Again, the head goes down.
I thought you didn't pedal, Rob.
Not much. You're right there. But when I did, I remember how much it hurt. So here comes Felipe Agurto. And he goes 6, 2.1 into the red. Oh.
I wonder if being a little guy, it's actually harder on this course. You maybe need to be a bit more powerful. The little guys might not carry as much speed on some of those long straights.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Because that looked pretty good to me. There were just a few little mistakes, but nothing.
Maybe that's why Adrien
major.
Loron, third qualifier, strapped 3 kilos of weight to his bike. I mean, it's true. Look at that. Beautiful stuff.
That's what I love to see. And just beautiful style on Felipe. He's obviously got the confidence on the big jumps after being at hardline. And it was great to see a Chilean rider doing hardline, actually. Here he is, off the last drop. Solid run from him.
Well, if you just joined us, it's Red Bull Genova, Cerro Abajo, I'm Rob Warner alongside Windmasters. 5 riders left at the top now. Gabriel Giovannini, the next to drop. Holguín, Loren, Fischbach, Vieira. Roger Vieira will be the last to drop in. And it's his brother at the moment, Douglas Vieira, doing the lead. In 0.3 of a second, only up on Pedro Burns. Tomas Slavik, the first man to drop into this final after a crash in qualifying, finds himself in 3rd at the moment. But still some racing to go. Will Douglas Vieira's time stand? What do you think, Win? It's a good run, wasn't it? We didn't see anything wrong with it.
No, it was a really good run, and he played to his strengths everywhere. And he was getting low, he was getting aero, and it really paid off. I'm interested to see.
So, 3rd place at the moment, there he is. Mr. T, Tomas Slavik, an impressive ride, actually, after a massive separation from his bike in qualifying.
It's a crash that would have taken most riders out of the race.
It would, yeah, exactly that. He put it behind him, rallied like only he can.
And Pedro Burns here into 2nd. Really good run from him, and I think going for that faster rolling tyre combo front and rear paid off.
Incredible, you're right. And it's Pedro Burns there in 2nd place at the moment.
And Douglas Vieira in the lead. That wide line really paying dividends. I've not seen many riders go so wide and not break up for that turn, so he's really watched his brother and stolen the line there.
Okay, let's go down to Gonza.
The hot seat driver, Douglas Vieira. What a run. You were flying out there.
Yeah, it was a crazy run. I had some issues on my qualifying run. I hit a wall and also my chain came off, so I knew I was on for a good run for the race run if everything went well. I just put everything on the line, pedaled as much as I could and didn't brake where I didn't have to. And yeah, as the time is showing, like I did a really good time. I hope it brings me a good result, and I'm super stoked with it. Couldn't be happier.
Your brother Roger was the fastest in qualifying. Now you have the hot seat. It's a good day to be a Vieira.
Yes, for sure. Me and my brother is always a rivalry, and he's recently always taking the better side of it. And I hope this time I can beat him. Yes.
Thank you, Douglas, and good luck.
Thank you.
Allora, bellissima intervista, Ross.
Great to hear from Douglas there then. Just 5 riders left now. A beautiful day here in Genova. And the next man to drop in actually is part of a racing dynasty, the son of Miguel Giovannini, the 1994 Pan American champ. Gabriel is going to be dropping first. Some heritage in that family.
Oh, we learn something new every day. I didn't know that, Rob. And Gabriel is also a very powerful peddler. He's on a full downhill bike, so we'll see if he can play to his strengths.
He's won an EWS in the open class. He's 3 times a Brazilian Enduro champion. He's twice a Brazilian downhill champion, so he has got everything he needs to put one down here this afternoon.
You can see out of that Stucker, he manualed those stairs, which I've seen no one do so far, and you can see how much he's hopping all these stairs. He's really putting a lot of energy into the start.
I don't know if I'd fancy. He gets it! He goes for the triple and he gets it! That was insane! And that's got to be quicker!
That was definitely quicker. He didn't have to brake too much for the shark fin. It was so smooth on the landing. We didn't see anyone land smooth like that.
And he's up by 0.43 then, the first rider to send that gap off that ramp there. That was insane! Remember how fast he's going there and how hard he pulled. Wow.
I was going 60 kilometers an hour in training, so he must have been doing 70 kilometers an hour right there, and he pulled up.
Oh my
Insane.
goodness. And he is rewarded with the fastest top split then. Can he keep it going now then?
He braked up to get that clean, and he's hit the wall. He hit the wall, so that's going to cost him a lot through this whole section.
Well, things might not be looking quite as green as split number 2 then. They hit that board in so hard. It looks, yeah, I agree.
Well, he hit that board a bit sideways. I don't know what was going on there. But 2 big mistakes we've seen just there. We'll see if he can still be in touch.
He needs to just try and maybe settle down again now. Easier said than done, though, when you're in the thick of it in a race run. Over a second back now. Look at the time he lost in that second sector. Oh, fast into those turns there as well.
It's really hard to get your mind back in after 2 big mistakes, and you sometimes push too much.
Yeah.
He's pushing hard on the pedal, pedaling everywhere, staying low and pedaling.
Incredible, and again pedaling there, finds a little bit more.
He's setting up for the inside.
Wide, yep. Most riders doing that now, Win, and definitely making it happen.
Yeah, and he powered out of it too. So we'll see how he goes with this next split. He's pushing hard, he's giving everything, but he is on the downhill bike, so it is harder to pedal a big downhill bike.
Yeah, that's right. Pays dividends perhaps on that top staircase though. 1.8 back now.
I think also those couple of little mistakes can really tie you out. He was drifting into that turn there.
And of course, you know, when you make a mistake, you then pedal harder to try and recover from it. And as you say, it just can get messier. It's not easy in a run to recover, especially one as short as this.
Yeah, one is as short as this and as intense as this the whole way down. Oh, nice. He hopped the back wheel around on that corner. That was some precision riding.
It's not like you've got a long, real chill space to just sort of think about things, is it?
There's literally nowhere to rest on this track.
So, Giovannini then. It was a great top split for him. He comes across the line in 4th place. Good run still at 2:42.1. 1.3 into the red.
Actually pulled half a second in the last sector. He pulled half a second back.
Which is incredible, but we, you know, keep an eye on that last sec. Look at this.
This is precision. He pulled up. He went so high, and he triples out past the lamppost. I don't even know how he got that far. We've not seen anyone else get close to on that triple, and that was
even bothered trying.
And then he hit the wall here. He hit the wall on the that tight turn there, cutting the inside, and then he went into the wall. He went a little bit too hot and hit the wall, and that cost him quite a bit. But an unreal run without those 2 mistakes, he would probably be leading.
Absolutely right. Yep. And look at the crowds here in Genoa enjoying this incredible street race this afternoon. The city has been brought to life, and there's still 4 riders left to drop. This isn't over yet.
Oh, he's actually ripped his shirt on the wall.
Way.
Wow. Well done for holding on to it, mate.
That's right. Okay, well, 3rd place here last year, 3rd in the series last year as well. 3 times 2nd place, and every time 2nd to Juan Favelas, the absent Juan Favelas. Can this be his day? Let's hear from him.
Hey everyone, we're here at the first stop of the Cerro Abajo series in Genova, Italy. I'm really happy for it. The track is fast and physical. I have been working hard, so yeah, I'm ready for the race, and yeah, let's go.
So, can he step out of the shadow of his Colombian counterpart here? 3 times 2nd, as we said. Always to Velez, the series champion, out with a knee injury. Deep off those first couple of stairs there.
And he's actually on the belt drive bike, a Zero, New Zealand brand too. And it has a lot of weight low, so he doesn't need to add weights to his bike.
That's right, the gearbox where the bottom bracket would normally be. It's going to be nice to have a nice quiet bike, I would imagine, as well.
He didn't go for the big triple that Giovannini crowned the Giovannini Cat.
No, that's right. But he was quick around that shark fin, I would say.
And he's pedaling hard.
He is. And he's up by 0.57! Ah, look at this from Sebastian Holguín then. Incredible. Wow, wow, wow. The man from Manazali's on the move here today.
This just shows how important it is to keep the speed through the shark fin.
Big scrub over there as well. 55 kilometres an hour, very nearly through the speed trap.
Amazing style over that big jump.
Wow, wow, wow. On the brakes, beautifully on the brakes there as well. Didn't lock up. Runs the wall on the exit. I'm not sure it cost him any speed though.
No, he was touching the wall, but he was right at the perfect part. And it looked like he just tapped that wall.
Just bouncing off that wall ride there. Oh, incredible stuff then from Holguín. I wonder if he's more confident without Velez being here. You know, it can make a difference to a rider.
He's always been second to Velez, so this could be his time.
And he's up again by 1.1. This is massive then from Sebastian Holguín.
Amazing to see him riding like this. He's so fast onto the road gap.
He was super quick through those turns. See the back end just stepping out there as well.
Insane.
So Holguín riding brilliantly here. The 7th at Red Bull Hardline Tasmania this year. 2nd at Guanajuato, the series finals last year as well.
And he's gone for the inside across the dirt. He wants to get on the dirt. He's got to power out of it.
Loses 0.3 in the key section. But he had 1.1 to play with. Next split's going to be crucial for us.
We'll see how he takes this next corner. If he slows it. No, he's got perfect through there.
Perfect through there, and perhaps rested a little bit. Oh my goodness, loses a second, no width. And now he's got the tiniest of margins to play with. Runs really wide there.
You used that wide entry to the corner, and that kept his speed up. But he's got nothing to play with here. He has to power everywhere, all the way to the line.
Maybe in a big gear there, laboured a little bit out of that one.
It's really important to be in the right gear to power out of every corner.
And it's so difficult as well to make it happen when you're thinking about everything else. So Sebastian Holguín with the smallest of margins of that last split.
And all the way into the finish, cranking it in.
Here he comes then. What's it going to be for Sebastian Holguín? He knows fastest! New leader at Red Bull Genoa Cerro Abajo. 2:39. The first sub 2:40 time of the day. Yes, Holguín. Will that be enough to see him win his first Red Bull Cerro Abajo race?
It was very hard to tell whether he's going faster because he'd used all of his physical capacity through that section, and he was labouring a bit in those last corners, but he just gave it everything and kept pushing. And that's one of the things you have to do here in these races, just push all the way to the end.
Wow. A perfectly gauged effort then.
And this whip over the jump, unreal. Perfect style, and then into the landing, nice and smooth. And then on the wall there, he probably touched the wall with his pedal and his shoe, but he was not worried about that. He was using all the track.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely incredible run.
Oh, you can see Douglas upset with that.
That's the win gone for Douglas.
And this was a slight drift on this corner.
Huh?
Oh, that man, he agrees with that. The marshal on the side of the track loves to see it. And then off that finish line ramp, you can cut straight to the finish. Some riders don't do it, but that makes the most of the run all the way down to the finish, and you don't lose any time.
Well, even in the absence of Juan Velez, it's a Colombian that leads. Holguín, 2:39, 3 riders left at the top. We're at the sharp end of this final here at Red Bull Genova Cerro Abajo. And now we go to the top for Adrien Loron. Here's how he stacks up against Johannes Fischbach. These are the next 2 riders to drop. 5th here last year for Johannes Fischbach, 8th for Adrien Loron, but both absolute veterans. A long time at the top for these 2. 3 kilograms of weight strapped to the bottom bracket of that bike. You can see it there. Trying to...
Looks like he's just taped it on.
I think he just has, yeah.
And he's done two European urban races recently. He's got 2 first places at those, so he's in good form at the moment.
And he has won Red Bull Montserrat, Cerro Abajo in the past. And he is a man, I would say, that when he's on, he is very much on. And I get the feeling that this is one of those days. A great qualifier for him.
I think you can almost even see through those first stairs. He actually went a little bit wide off the Schachmann, but you could almost see through those first stairs how stable his bike was.
Yeah, that weight went out, but he's in touch at split number 1 then.
And I think Adrien also runs a lockout too, so he's got a lockout for the pedal sections.
And Thomas said as well, the lockout can work on some of the features, you know, to get rid of that horrendous compression and rebound.
Yeah, you can take more speed from some of the landings and also from some of the berm corners like this one, and see if he uses the berm.
And Loron does use the berm, look at that! And I think he made it work quite well through there. Difficult turn to whip it around there, but no arguing with how much power he's laying down on that next straight.
Yeah, pedaled all the way to that next corner.
So now we'll see on the next split, what is it going to be for Adrien Loron then? Carpentras in the south of France.
Getting low, and we'll see where he picks up his breaking point here.
It's going to be close, I think. He's up by half a second. He took nearly a second in that sector. Yeah. That's madness.
So the speed coming from that wooden berm really paid off. He pedaled all the way.
He took the wide line in. It carried more speed onto that straight. That's really, really interesting.
I wonder if Roger's at the top watching that and learning from this one.
Well, difficult to change up your lines really before a finals run. Look at this.
He's gone wide.
And different lines again further down. They're not using the favourite inside.
But really powering onto the ramp.
Well, he knows again that that speed will carry onto this straight. And again, stood up some big, powerful pedals there. Next split. Coming up then for Adrien Loron.
It looks like he's really paying attention
and
to
he's
where he
up
pedals.
Again, look, over a second now. So he's taken another half second. This is unbelievable from Loron, a man who's never won one of this series.
This is perfection from him so far. Even scrubbed off the shark fin, touched the wall.
He did touch the wall there as well.
Using all the track.
Super powerful rider. Loron tiptoeing around that left there. But online, precise, up against the wall there as well.
Maybe on the heaviest bike here, and it's paying dividends the whole way down.
3 kilos on top, here he comes then. Adrien Loron, is he going to threaten that time of Vieira? Excuse me, of Holguín, here he comes! And he goes fastest by 0.55. Adrien Loron then takes the lead at Red Bull Genova Cerro Abajo. An incredible run for him. Wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good top to bottom, that one.
Adrien in form the whole way down. You can see that 3 kilos taped to the bottom of the bike. Maybe that extra weight does help. And I think he's done a lot of work on his setup, and it also looks like he's really been training hard. He pedaled everywhere. It was strong, powerful pedals. He never looked like he was getting tired. Unreal run.
Well, unbelievable. The first veteran showing us what he can do. Johannes Fischbach coming next, and actually Slavik himself saying, watch out for Johannes Fischbach today. Look at that run, though.
He was faster in all the sectors.
Yeah, that's right.
Apart from the first
one, that's it. Look at the second to last sector.
Oh, see some
chipping off some of the plaster.
Unreal. The locals won't like that.
You could sense really that Loron was up for it this weekend. I think he's been feeling the pressure coming in over the last couple of days.
He was really fired up, and I think he's really worked hard on his bike setup and also his fitness. You see how strong he was the whole way down.
Super fired up for this one. And a super finals run for Adrien Loron. Is it going to be enough for him to take his first of this series, first win of this series? 2 riders left to go.
Be great to see a first-time winner.
And here he is. They've been racing bikes since he was 6 years old. Has won Red Bull Valparaiso, the big one back in 2016. He also won Taxco when he had an unbelievable 2016 year, actually. But yeah, let's see then what Johannes Fischbach can do this afternoon. 5th here last year. And you said a big advantage to him that he only rides this bike. He doesn't change between downhill bike and this.
No, this is his only bike. So he's been doing some German downhill races on this bike. And he's off into this first section. He's got some weight strapped to this enduro bike. He's on the full enduro bike.
And he got sideways down here last year. Let's see what Fischbach does here. A little bit smoother than it was 12 months ago down this fast straight.
But looking really quick and hopping the steps in the right places.
Carries the front wheel up over that landing, on the bump on the landing. Locks that rear wheel up as well. Now watch the horsepower from Fischbach here.
Yeah, I think he's one of the most powerful riders. He's done a lot of different disciplines of racing.
And he's back by 0.35. Tucked early there. But now again, back on those pedals. And he's in touch. 0.35 is definitely in touch.
It's doable from there, and I think he will get stronger as he goes down. He's a very fit rider.
But we just saw Loron run this berm on the outside of this turn and carry it. Amazing pace it looked down this next straight.
Fischbach was the fastest over that big double, though. He did 57.
And again, look at him, accelerating down here. And he used the berm as well, so Fischbach, surely I would say, will match Loron for power.
Yeah, I think hitting that big double faster could be a bit more speed as well. He's going to come in quicker.
Whistling down here then. Loron with that 1:17 at split number 2.
And in the braking zone.
And he's back by 0.6, so he's lost another 0.2 in that sector.
He used all the track in that braking zone, though.
I tell you what, he's really pushing on here, but he's still in touch, because Loron was incredible in that second sector.
Loron didn't look like he was getting loose at all, and Johannes looks a little bit more twitchy, his bike. So maybe that 3 kilos is helping hold his bike down a bit more.
Key section, what was it then?
The new line. He came in hot to it too. Oh, on the edge.
Nearly off the side of there as well, lost a bit more time in that key section too. Oh. So, 0.6, going further into the red, slipping a little bit further, but he's piked back now, half a second he's found. So Fischbach, incredible. Can he do it in this last sector? It's so close.
I think this is his section, and that dirt line that he took, it paid a dividend there.
I agree with you as well. Look at this then. Back end just slips a little bit there. Good lines though through here for Johannes.
Up against the wall.
On the wall as well. I wonder if this is going to be red or green then for Johannes Fischbach.
Strong, powerful pedals, and this is going to take him all the way into the line.
That's right. Down that last staircase then, here he comes. Johannes Fischbach, 2:39 to beat. He does it. Fischbach goes fastest by 0.1. Oh, we got a new leader again here in Genova. Unbelievable. Well. And we will have a first-time winner of a Red Bull Cerro Abajo Series race today. It's going to be that man, or it's going to be Roger Vieira, the last to drop. The pressure is on him now at the top.
Unreal run from Johannes, and he hit that jump the fastest.
Lost all the way down and snatched it back in the very last sector.
The last sector, he laid down the power and he didn't get tired, and it looked like he judged his effort the whole way down.
Yeah, maybe. I thought that as well. Yeah.
It looked like he was saving a little bit for that last bit. And he came onto there, he was right on the edge. He almost went off the edge and then landed on the edge here to open the corner. And this is where his powerful pedal strokes actually paid off all the way to the finish.
Yeah. Incredible. 1 to go then. Roger Vieira has the unenviable task of being the last man at the top of this mountain, the top of this city. Oh, top 3, Fischbach from Loron, from Sebastian Holguín. Will it stay like that? Look at the effort. Fischbach still blowing.
Well, either way, we're going to see a first-time winner, which is very special. And I think the whole of Brazil is going to be tuned into this man.
They are. You were right there. The national champion last year for downhill. A 3rd place at Red Bull Guanajuato Cerro Abajo is Roger Vieira.
I was riding really well last year. Ended up crashing on my run. But the pace was there for a top 3, so yeah, I always come into a race wanting to win the race, but I'll be happy with top 3. That's the goal, get in the podium, and if we win, that will be even better.
So it's going to be that man, or the one sat in the start hut. The pressure absolutely on Roger Vieira.
And another man on the full enduro bike. He's into the race.
Here we go then. This is it. Can Roger Vieira take down that time of Johannes Fischbach? He's going to have to give it everything, pedaling into that staircase.
One of the few riders we've seen pedal down the stairs.
Whoa! I don't think we've seen anyone else get any pedals in there. That's insane. Another one as well.
Oh, he almost got
it.
the
He didn't
Giovannini
pull that
triple.
hard up.
Yeah.
So Vieira looking like he's super quick up here. His brother led earlier, remember.
Beautiful style off the shark fin. He whipped it out into the landing.
And he's up by 0.4, so an incredible top sector then.
I'm sure his team manager Bernard Kerr will be tuning in, and there'll be a lot of Bora Roger going on.
There will. And the Armo Roger. Coming into this turn, is he going to go wide or is he going to cut it tight? After seeing those
gone
other
for the
riders,
wide.
yeah, he's gone for the wide.
And pedaling in.
Gives you another pedal stroke at least into this long straight now. Vieira pedaling a good way down there as well.
Yeah, that's key to pedal all the way down there as far as you can. Keep the speed the whole way.
And then tuck, get low. So, going to find out the next split just how Roger Vieira's been doing down here, doubling down these stairs as well. Oh.
This is a key braking zone to keep the speed into the road gap.
Oh, 0.29 off then, losing 0.7 there.
He lost 0.7 in that section. So it really comes down to the powerful pedals into that straight.
It does as well. But what's he got left for the rest of it? Hard on the pedals there as well. But 0.29, that's very doable. But it's going to take something special because Fischbach was super quick in the last sector.
Here we go. Here's a dodgy Roger line. He's pulled out the dodgy Roger line.
And he's
through
the fastest through that key section. So let's keep an eye on this then. Is Vieira fighting back now? Wow. 0.29 it was. Next split coming up. Oh, good around there as well. Didn't use all the road.
Super
and he's
clean.
up by 0.15. Oh, this is unbelievable.
We've got a race on our hands.
This is where he crashed last year. He was on form then as well. Safely through there this time.
This is a really good run from Roger so far. And he's a man that's really creative with his lines. I think this bottom section should play to his strengths.
He's in a big gear. What's he going to do on this wall ride? Doesn't run up onto the very top. God, that was fast through there. He held a tight line as well. So, is Roger Vieira looking at his first Red Bull Cerro Abajo win? Here he comes. Last staircase off the drop. Roger Vieira sprints for the line and goes fastest. Roger Vieira wins Red Bull Genoa, Cerro Abajo. Fastest qualifier, fastest race run. That was insane.
And two Vieiras in the top 5.
Wow.
So hats off Roger and Douglas. What an amazing day for Brazil. And Bernard Kerr is going to be celebrating this one, the pivot team manager. Unreal ride, Roger. Bora, the whole of Brazil's behind you.
That was spectacular. Unbelievable. Roger Vieira, he's been brewing, getting ready for this win more and more, just improving, getting on the pivot factory team this year. And look at what he's done today, winning his first Cerro Abajo race. Wow, incredible.
Here he is. He almost went for the Giovannini triple, but he didn't pull up, but he almost had the speed to go the whole way.
I think he'd have done it if he'd pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah. How could he not? He pedalled down that staircase. Look
beautiful.
at that. Yes, stunning.
Yeah.
And then, you know, perhaps not as powerful as Fischbach or Slavik. You see the red there in the middle, but then he came back to life in the bottom.
And that sector 5 was the key to the race.
Wow. Yes, it was.
Unreal.
And that's the turn he crashed on a year ago when he was on for podium pace, at least.
He was really clean through these bottom turns. See his back wheel hit the wall as well. Unreal.
Yeah.
Really clean through the bottom turns and gave it everything into the finish and judged his effort really well. Straight across there and into the line.
That is a massive win for Brazil. That is a massive win for Roger Vieira. Oh, look at that. And there is no feeling like being the last man to drop and taking the win. I mean, not that I know from experience, but that's got to feel good. Oh.
He's dealt with the pressure so well to deliver a run like that, being the last man on the hill and to be 1.5 seconds up.
Okay, well, let's hear from him. He's with Gonza.
Roger, how does it feel to win your first ever Cerro Abajo event?
Oh man, I'm speechless now. Speechless, literally. Oh, I pushed so hard. it was loads of places where I wanted to pedal more, but I knew I had to save some energy for the finish. And I don't know, everything was perfect. All my corners, everything I hit like perfect, and just pedaled as hard as I could. It's emotional. It's for Brazil this, and yeah, just gotta thank all my sponsors, everyone, for this opportunity. The People Factory Racing Team, and oh man, it's unreal. I'm a bit speechless at the minute. I'm still tired as well.
No, I see you're very emotional. Who are you thinking about now?
Oh, just gotta thank all my team, my wife that's here with me as well, and everyone back at home, my family there, sacrificed everything in Brazil to come to Europe, and a big love to my parents, my mom and my dad as well at home, and yeah, just my team and everyone. I'm super stoked, and fuck, I won an urban race.
And today it's gonna be pizza or pasta?
Today's gonna be party, cerveza.
Thank you so much and congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Your 2025 Cerro Abajo Red Bull champion.
Thank you very much.
Your champion here. Sorry again for some of the words. You can understand the emotion from Roger, your champion.
Well, so much emotion pouring out of Roger Vieira. That is why I love sport. To see him come down last man and win. Look at that. That was incredible. That was for Brazil. A 2:37 winning by a second and a half, a massive margin.
That's a huge margin on this track of only 2 minutes 37.
Wow, wow, wow.
Congratulations to Roger, and well done to his parents for giving everything to bring him and Douglas here, and they're both in the top 5
today. What a payoff today. 2014, the family moved to the UK to give literally Douglas and Roger more opportunities to race downhill, and it's worked out well. A brilliant day. Look at this top 3. Adrien Loron, 3 kilos packed on that bike of extra weight, and it certainly worked for the Frenchman.
It worked the whole way down. He looked really dialed and really smooth everywhere.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
Didn't make any mistakes.
No. A brilliant run for Loron then. A brilliant run for the German, Johannes Fischbach as well.
Yeah, he looked powerful everywhere, and he really used his energy in the right places. He hit that jump the fastest of anyone.
I think that him and actually Adrien Loron's runs, they look like winning runs to me. You know, they were pretty faultless.
Yeah, and then Roger just took it to another level.
What a run from Roger Vieira, taking the win by 1.5 seconds. That is such a margin.
Yeah, he powered the whole way down. He's emptied the tank, and he saved the best for last in the last sector.
That is a man who rose to the challenge of being the fastest qualifier, the last man at the top. Oh, unbelievable. Well done, Roger Vieira.
Well done to Brazil as well. Shout out to the Brazilian team here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great Brazilian riders here.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, well, what a race we have just had.
Everyone's stoked to see Roger take his first win.
Well, that's right as well. Yeah, exactly. Been a long time coming, actually, but he has been building through the previous 3 seasons of this series.
Yeah, so that the pain of the crash in this race last year, he's definitely got redemption for that one.
He has. Yeah.
Allora ci siamo. Allora partiamo con la premiazione, la awarding ceremony di Red Bulls Genova Cerro Abajo 2025. Al terzo posto, in third place.
Well, stay with us as we go to the presentations.
Adrien Loron! Eccolo qua!
Well done, Adrien. Good to see him smiling. He was definitely feeling the pressure of this race coming in, which I think often tells us that he's up for it.
Yeah, he wanted this one, and he was quite stressed coming in, but he's delivered the great run today.
Second place, seconda posizione, dalla Germania, Johannes Fischbach!
What a career this man has had. From four-cross to downhill to street racing One of the most complete riders mountain biking's ever seen.
I think he's even done some short track cross country in Germany as well.
Yeah.
He's won some races at that too.
He actually flew off a ski jump. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he flew off it without his bike too.
That's right. Yeah. If he'd had a wingsuit on, he'd have landed in a different country. But this day belongs absolutely to this man. Roger Vieira takes his first Red Bull Cerro Abajo Series win. And with it, the lead of this year's championship.
An amazing ride by Roger, and you can see him just soaking up this one. It's been a long time coming, and all those sacrifices paid off today.
What a day, what a race. Brilliant. What a brilliant street race that was.
dell'inno brasiliano. Adrien Loron, Johannes Fischbach, ma soprattutto Roger Vieira! E allora salvano un po'.
Well, congratulations to everyone who raced this weekend. And congratulations to the top three. Blinded by champagne.
What a show these guys have put on today.
Didn't they? I mean, any one of those runs really was good enough for the win, I would say.
Yeah, they three amazing runs there. But what a performance from Roger.
Yeah. Brazil. This one belongs to Brazil. And of course, the overall standings after the first race are going to look a lot like the results. It's Vieira with that 70 on the table that goes to the second round with the series lead. Can he hold on to that now? Can he capitalise? Juan Favelas will probably be back in action.
And Tomas Slavik back in 7th.
So a slower start for Slavik than he would have liked. Exactly, yeah. Look at that.
But he still turned around quite a rough morning.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, that has been an incredible day's racing here in Italy. What a lovely little island we live on. The scenery, the greenery, some of the best trails, outstanding craftsmanship. 4 seasons in a day. It's easy to overlook our beautiful little island, and there's nowhere I'd rather be. Glorious! Shires, now available on Red Bull TV.
Join the world of Red Bull and make it your own. Discover your favorite live events, films, and shows. Get the newly improved Red Bull TV app for free.
Four-time Rampage champion, and he's dropping in.
Controla con un frenado impresionante.
Available anywhere, at any time, on all your devices. Download the app now.
4 unique stops on 3 continents. High stakes. Every dive. A leap of faith.
That was beautiful.
But only consistency, focus, and top performance will take the title. Blink, and you'll miss it. Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series 2025. Live on Red Bull TV.
Have you ever stared at a picture and it came alive? They say every rider has a calling. 15 athletes on their mind trip through Europe. A fantastic ride into the wildest dreams of biking. The Old World, now available on Red Bull TV.
Take a look inside.
And he was going so fast!
If you make one mistake, it's game over. The menacing world of mountain bike racing.
What do you mean by menacing?
With 6 off-the-chain stories from up-and-coming rookies.
We have a good time.
To experienced riders.
Don't film this foot.
Race tapes.
Prepare your bike. Visualize the track. Keep your blood pumping. Every mistake is a new opportunity. Keep your grip loose for the wildest rides. Bike on Red Bull TV.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Genoa. We've just had an unbelievable street race with Roger Vieira taking the win. I don't think we saw that coming, but you know, after qualifying, was it a surprise to you?
Well, he won the qualifier as well, and then backs it up and wins in the final. Unreal ride, and he's taken 1.5 seconds out of the second place.
How do you think he did it? Because we saw a lot of riders going red and green. It was like different sectors of the track were showing up different split times, you know, as in whether they were faster or slower. It was a different race today, I think.
It looked like he was really judging his effort, and he cut all the arcs of the corners really nice, so he didn't do any extra track anywhere.
No, that's right, the shortest run down. Do you think it was important to gauge your effort today, Win?
Definitely, it's quite a long physical track, and he won that race, I think, in the last sector.
And there is Roger Vieira on track. Look at this then. We haven't seen anyone pedal down these stairs like that.
Yeah, he pedaled all the way down those first stair set.
Which was impressive. He probably could have gone for the big gap here. He would have definitely had the speed, I think.
He definitely had the speed, and then off the shark fin, he scrubbed off it quite nicely. Beautiful.
And this is a physical track, and look at him on the pedals as well. There's no hiding. You've got to be super fit on this one. I mean, I'm not sure, maybe Roger would tell us the same. He's going to put out the same sort of horsepower as Tomas Slavik or Johannes Fischbach, you know, the 4-cross powerhouses, but that was impressive.
I don't think he'd have the same power, but he's used his power more wisely and used it where he needed to. So unreal ride the whole way down. And then in this corner here, this is like the key section. He went out to the berm, used the berm and maybe got a bit more speed, cranked into this next straight. That was one of the key corners.
Look at that, yeah, incredible stuff then. Fast onto that wall ride there as well. Nowhere to hide on these street races, what? So
he's literally pedaled everywhere he could so far as well.
Yeah, which is interesting because sometimes at these speeds, tucking can be as quick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then he was really good in the braking zones, nice and clean. And then up against the wall, nice and clean. He didn't do any extra track.
No, look at that as well, whistling through those 2 turns. Some riders only just getting onto the boardwalk, onto that gap there as well. But
nice and low down into that straight. And then he pulls out the Dodgy Rogy line. He's known for being creative with his lines. They call him Dodgy Rogy, and this is a Dodgy Rogy line through the inside.
Dodgy Rogy pulled one out of the bag today. And really, as we said, you know, in the pre-show, the track or the times can get going down here. If you've got nothing left in the tank down here, you've had it, you're finished. But Vieira did keep something back.
Yeah, it looked like he saved a little bit of energy along that flat bit with a big tuck, and then he's used the energy really well in this bottom section.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay, last couple of turns then. And this, you know, to be still really, to be on it, mate, at this stage, there's so much can go wrong here. The pressure's building when you know you've had a good run.
Yeah, especially as the last man on the hill and the first time you're doing that. And he cut the inside of some of those last corners. I think that's where he got the time.
Yeah, amazing. Sprint of the line. That is how you do it. Well, we've got a special guest with us now. Here he is, Tomas Slavik, last year's winner. How you feeling, Tomas? I mean, to see you step up and actually ride that final, I think that says it all after the crash you had in quali. A difficult day.
Yeah, it was a tough day in the office after accident happened yesterday, which was insane. Then crashing in a quali. I thought I got rid of it, and in the final run I'm just gonna make it work, but it was probably there somewhere deep in my head, and I was actually doing kind of almost, I was catching myself doing like a safe run, just not to be crashing, to be safe at the bottom, and I was pedaling hard on a straight lines, but it wasn't enough. Like, if you want to win here, you need to go full on everywhere.
Take massive risk.
Yeah, take the risk, and wanted to take it, but my brain didn't allow me.
What do you think, Win? Impressive still, wasn't it?
After that crash, you really turned it around to be able to even go back up. That was a huge crash.
Yeah, it was a bad one. Like, right after the crash, I was quite all right, but then 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes after, it was getting worse and worse, and my ribs, and I almost couldn't breathe, so I was just like whole track feeling the pain in my ribs, but that's definitely not an excuse, you know. I already got over worse situation than these ones, but probably it played a role in my head, and then actually thought that I might get a better time, but didn't make it, and it's racing and happened many times, and I need to come back stronger.
And I would say, you know, you're used to dropping at the end of the race. You were here, we were with you, getting your bike fixed. You had to like get a hanger, you had to get the gears working again. You were still fixing it going up. Did it affect you, do you think? Do you like the build-up? Do you like to be one of the last at the top? Because it must be just so different for you to be the first to drop in.
It's really hard to be, like, everyone says it's the hardest to be the last guy on the top, but I like the pressure. I love it. It like, pressure creates diamonds, and, you know, whenever I'm up there as one of the last guys, I can create the pressure on me, and then I always work the best and most precise when the pressure is on me. You know, yeah, would love to be better racing as the last guy than going first and sitting here on this hot seat, which was killing me. I hate it. I hate sitting on a hot seat. This is my worst activity in the world.
And it's definitely hot air as well, isn't it, as well, yeah.
Yeah, do you normally watch some of the other riders' runs when you're at the top of the hill?
Yeah, all the time I'm checking if there is some, like, I actually saw that most of the guys went before the Castelletto, they all went to the inside dirt line. I didn't even try it in training because I thought, like, I'm not sure if it's faster or not, but I was really surprised how many guys went there. So I'm really watching, really like calculating and then checking it. Even that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go to the room and checking out where it happened.
It's not over. Your race day's not over yet. Well, look,
race day's definitely not over. No.
But amazing, mate, to see you come back like that. I think you can be really proud of today. Most people, as you said, would not have gone back to the top of the mountain. So congratulations. A bit of work to do now for the overall.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Juan Fer wasn't here. I didn't get the result I was going for. Guys were smashing it, so it's going to be at least more exciting until the end.
Brilliant, amazing. Well, thank you, Thomas. We're gonna get Johannes. Can we get you in? Thanks for you can. Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
Mate, look at the trophy, the big number 2. Way! Amazing. Happy with your result today?
I'm fully happy, really. Like, I think my last podium on a Cerro Abajo tour in the urban downhill was years ago, really. So I'm more than happy.
A brilliant run. What do you make of Roger Vieira's run today? He was 1.5 seconds up. I mean, it's a massive winning margin, right? Where do you think he made that time?
In the bottom part. In the middle part, I thought, oh yeah, he lose a bit time, so maybe I could go for the win, or maybe I win it. But then when I saw him in the lower part, it was just crazy. Like really, he was on full attack mode until the finish.
Do you think he saved some energy, or do you think
he's just super fit and super aggressive? Like it was looking like he just started the race in the bottom. Really.
Would you make him a win?
Yeah, amazing run, Johannes, and you actually went the fastest into that big jump too.
Really? It was the first time I was not braking, really.
So I touch your brake?
No, I not wanted to do this, but I saw the guys on the TV on the top. No, really, I not wanted to do this, but I saw everybody going so fast, so I was saying to myself, fuck it, squash it. So.
Yeah, sorry about the language, but you have to do what you've got to do well in these races.
Definitely. Like my quali run honestly was on the limit because with the coming rain I thought maybe the qualification will be the race result, so I was pushing, and it was in some turns like on the shark fin I could feel my tires sliding, and I was like, oh, I not want to go that fast anymore, but I had to do it.
No, it was a brilliant race run. We thought really you, Adrien, you know, those were winning runs. You didn't do a lot wrong, eh?
Not really. Like if I go faster in some parts, like in this palm tree section, I really came in too fast. I knew it. It was close. Like I was on the limit. I'm happy to made it down.
Well, congratulations, mate. An amazing second place. We'll let you go. Thanks very much.
Well done.
Yeah, brilliant run from him as well, wasn't it, eh? What a day it's been. I mean, Loron's run again was insane as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of the top three, but Roger was just a level above, and in the bottom section especially, unreal.
Roger, we're going to grab Roger here, the winner. We can see him. Hello, Roger. Mate, an emotional win for you. How was that? Huh? Congratulations,
Thanks,
my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Watch the Apple Pencil. No, mate, a brilliant win. Did you expect it to go that well? We thought maybe, you know, your first time as the fastest qualifier, being the last man up there might spook you, but you rose to the occasion.
Yeah, no, definitely had like, I was nervous at the top, but I think I did well with that. If you know how to use that, it's good for you, and I think I did it well. I did a lot of visualization at the top, and I knew I had a lot more to give from quali because I didn't pedal a lot in quali. And I was saving a bit as well because I was protected. And yeah, I think I just hit all my marks really perfect, like all my corners, all my braking points, and pedaled super, super hard. I wanted to pedal more, but like my legs, I knew I had to save it for the bottom. I knew like if I pedaled more at the top, I wouldn't have like enough like at the bottom. So I was just trying to pedal everywhere I could and carry that speed.
You were the only dude to pedal a lot of the first stay. No one else pedalled into that first stairway like you. It was mad, wasn't it, Win?
Yeah, you pedalled all the way down into that first stair section.
Yeah, I did it last year, and I felt like it works. And because I'm a light, I feel like I have to pedal a little bit more than the heavy guys, because they can carry like speed a bit more. And I feel like I have to give a few cranks of pedal and then tug to just get that speed. But yeah, it was good, man. I'm happy.
And you normally ride a downhill fork, right? That wasn't the case today, was it? The enduro fork you had in. Will you be using the enduro fork now more, or are you going to go back to the big downhill?
I'll probably go down to the big downhill for the next ones. This one is the less technical one, so you can get away, I think, with the single crown. It was still a few bits of the track where it wasn't like great, but for the pedals, because you have a lot of sprints here, is a lot better. But yeah, probably for Valpo, I'll race the downhill bike.
You will. Okay, mate. Well, look, we're gonna let you go. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Amazing day for Brazil as well. Incredible. Okay, well, we also caught up with third-place rider Adrien Loron. Here he is.
So, Adrien, third place for you. How did it feel? Is it disappointing? Are you happy with the result?
I'm definitely super happy with this podium. It's been a very long day, super stressful with the forecast, the rain. Track is super fast and sketchy. And at the end of the day, this third place is amazing. It's a dream.
Not only a long day, but also a long week. How was the experience in Genoa?
Genoa is amazing. People are loving it. The track is very special. It's super unique in the tour. And we had a great time, and yeah, super happy with the performance.
not only third place in the race, but also kicking off a new season, third place in the overall rankings.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm at the top of the ranking since a while, so I'm happy with that. I got 2 wins before in smaller races also, and I just got a kid, so I'm super stoked to be still active with my little baby. He has 2 months, my wife is waiting home, and I'm so stoked for them also to be here and represent our family.
Thank you so much and enjoy the family.
Cheers, cheers.
Okay, everyone, well, thank you very much. We're going to wrap up things here now from Genoa. I mean, it's been an unbelievable day, right? What an opening round of this Red Bull Cerro Abajo series. The streets continue to deliver.
They never fail to deliver, Rob, and I already can't wait for the next one.
That's right, it's coming up soon. But before that, next weekend, we have got something very different from you. From Switzerland, from Sion, it is Red Bull Castle Ride. Watch the world's top riders take on the ancient streets of Sion, Switzerland, in this one-of-a-kind urban downhill spectacle. For the first time ever, urban downhill and slopestyle athletes forces in mixed discipline crews coming together, bringing 2 worlds of mountain biking together in an explosive new format. Don't miss the action live on Red Bull TV next weekend. Well, we're going to say goodbye now from Genoa. It's hot. It's been a heck of a day, Win. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Rob. It's been a privilege, and thanks to Genova for putting on such a great race.
What a race that was. Yeah, thanks very much for joining us at home. Thank you to Win. We'll see you next time, next weekend on Red Bull TV.